people, it's Courtney. How are you doing? First off, I got some tea in one of my favorite mugs. Very lemony. It's hot. Anyway, so I'm here to talk to you a bit about a book that I just read that was absolutely fantastical, okay? It is called The Darkness Within Us. Now, I got this book from Paco at Badge Witch Books. I saw him talk about it on his channel, and I was like, you know what? I'm gonna pick that up. And first off, y'all, let's take a moment of silence for such a beautiful cover. Really good, right? Like, just awesome. I think the cover just blew it out the water. Now, this book is a YA/newer adult, okay? And it is a sequel, book 2 in a romantasy series. The first one is called, what is it called? The Shadow Between Us, okay? But I will say that I did not read the first book, and while this book may be a bit of a spoiler for the first one, I do think that you could take each one as a standalone because they follow different characters, called different sisters. But I absolutely loved it. So you have Chrysanthi, right? Which is a pretty name. She's a 19-year-old girl who is married off to this 64-year-old man who is like bedridden on his deathbed, right? And she's not mad at it because she's just waiting for him to die so she can take all his money and, you know, live life on her own terms. And, you know, who wouldn't want that, right? Now, the problem comes in that his supposed estranged grandson comes to try to collect on his inheritance, but she's just definitely not going to let it go down like that because that's her money, her house, all her own stuff. Now, I thought that this was a great story. It was well done. I do think that the whole angle with the grandson, his name is Eric, was gonna go kind of different. I mean, it is a romantasy, so I expected something fantastical to happen, but it definitely was what I thought. So I appreciate, you know, being surprised. But I was a bit disappointed that he wasn't like a bit of a stronger character. But overall, I thought the characters were all unique, even all the side characters. You can get a glimpse into each person's personality, no matter how small the role that they had in it. So I did appreciate that. The book centered a lot on Chrysanthi basically wanting to be able to make her own decisions in life and not be beholden to men. So it was very emotional in how she felt like she was burned by men, couldn't trust men, because basically her father sold her off to this old dude for money. So she wanted to have her own life. You know, it's really sad, but, you know, kudos to her for making things count for herself, you know? I mean, who wants to be broke and dependent on somebody else for their livelihood? I know I sure don't. So if people don't value, you know, marry a rich man and kill him for his money, why not? I mean, a girl's gotta do what a girl's gotta do, right? I'm just joking, y'all. But still, you know, I do appreciate a strong woman going out to get what she wants, okay? And then her whole acting aloof, so people underestimated her. Now, she had the long game in that one, so I don't know if I could do it, but I still thought that was pretty interesting. You know, she was pretty smart in knowing that, you know, people would just say whatever they would in front of her. But I love the women's empowerment angle where the queen made all these decrees to help women to empower themselves to be more independent. And also, you know, get some of the pleasures that men have without all the incriminations and bad reputations. And a man, the king, that supports her, even better, okay? And speaking of women, so there was this sibling rivalry between the two girls, right? The sisters, you know, I guess it's the sister from the first book. Her name is Alessandra, and Chrysanthi from this book. Now, that wasn't showcased much, but I did like their interactions. And the fact that murder was involved, I mean, why not? Make it interesting, right? Overall, I enjoyed this book. I thought that it was, you know, somewhat unique, and it was kind of lighthearted and funny. You know, it was YA-ish, and some of the interactions, you know, were a bit juvenile, but I still enjoyed the book nevertheless. Now, I probably would be hesitant maybe to pick up the first book since I already read this second book. But I definitely thought it was a good time, and I couldn't put it down. I hated that I had to go to work and not be able to read it. Now, like I said, this is YA-ish. So, you know, while there was plenty of violence, okay, you didn't have any, you know, sexiness on page. So if you're expecting some of that, you're definitely not going to get it. But definitely a great book. I think it's worth checking out for a little bit of anyone enjoyable story, okay? So want to thank you to Paco for talking about it on his channel, because I haven't heard anybody else that had talked about this book, and it's definitely something that I thoroughly enjoyed, just right when I needed it, okay? So I'm going to go and enjoy this tea. This is still piping hot, and I will see y'all later, okay? Like, subscribe, and leave me some comments, especially if you're going to check out this book, or if you already had, okay? I'll talk to you later. Bye-bye.